All right, good afternoon. Today is Veterans Day, and I just want to tell them that we appreciate their example, their sacrifice, their vulnerability, their wisdom, and the courage they continue to lead with, inspire us, and protect us. They protect the most sacred gift that we have, which is life, liberty, and freedom. And for that, a simple thank you is the words I'd like to give them today. Senior Week, 20 men who are here for their final home game in Faurot Field. Want to first thank the fans for making Faurot Field such a special place this season, and for selling out all their home games and really making it a remarkable place to play. I know that the seniors have a very special feeling about Faurot Field, and because of that, this will be a very emotional game for Vince Brown, Kevin Coleman, Dalen Carnell, Jalen Catalon, Stephen Hall, Braylon Henderson, Khalil Jacobs, Tommy Locke, Xavier Lloyd, Chris McClellan, Henry McDermott, Logan Muckey, Tristan Newsom, Dre Norwood, Toriano Pride, Connor Tollison, Keegan Trost, Sterling Webb, Connor Wesselman, and Zion Young. This group of men have worked extremely hard. Some have been here for a long time, some have been here for a short time, but all have contributed to the success of Mizzou football, and we're going to work really hard to show our appreciation to them. One of the things that we're currently working on, I think one of the coolest traditions that Mizzou has is after senior day, if you win, you get to go grab a rock and the teammates carry you off the field. We are currently constructing a rock M on one of the grass spots in front of Brock Olivo's name, so that we can continue that tradition should we happen to earn that with the win this week. And it's going to be a very difficult challenge. Mississippi State is a team that is improving year in over year out. I think Coach Levy has got that program going in the right direction. They have 5 wins, looking for their 6th win to become bowl eligible. Got their first conference win 2 weeks ago versus Arkansas. Obviously played a very tough team in Georgia last week, but you can tell that program is growing and going in the right direction offensively, very dynamic and explosive, run-based RPO offense that utilizes tempo, creates explosive plays, utilizes space really well. Defensively, have remade their defense, but very multiple, very aggressive, very attacking. 9 seniors on that side of the ball, which creates, they've got a lot of experience, which creates its own challenge for us. And so it'll be a very difficult game for us, and one that we have to prepare for, but one that we are excited about. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Start with Gabe.
Eli, curious, the talk after the game on Saturday night that A&M had some idea what was coming, was
Yep.
calling out plays.
Yep.
Is that something that did happen? What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, my reaction to that is obviously we've got to do a better job with some of our signaling and communication. And obviously we've got to go back and check our tendencies. We came back off of a bye week, felt like we had a pretty good handle on our tendency stuff. We run a lot of outside zone. I think that's probably pretty predictable. And so we just got to go back and make sure that we're doing the best job we can to, check our stances, check our wording and verbiage to make sure that we're clean on that.
Right down here with Eli.
Coach, what made last week the time to flip the switch and give Donovan the start and a few more snaps?
Just the right time.
Questions? Cal?
Yeah, Coach, looking back at the tape, where is the first step of improvement you would like to see week to week from Matt heading into the season?
Yeah, for us, it's about getting comfortable earlier in the game and creating some easier opportunities for him to get into a rhythm. We never really got him into the rhythm offensively, and so we've got to do a better job of creating some offensive rhythm and not putting him in situations where he feels the entire pressure to make the play. So that's something that we can do. Obviously, I think Matt didn't play his senior year because of an injury. The game against UCA and ULL was, the first times he's really played, and then Vanderbilt. So I knew there was going to be some things that we gotta continue to work on. I think his confidence in yesterday's walkthrough was better. I think his confidence in practice will be better. And now we've got building blocks on what we can build upon. So, but it's not, you know, it's unfair to expect Matt to carry the load. You know, I've gotta do my job of carrying the load for Matt, our staff's gotta do their job, and then our whole team's gotta continue to do their job.
You're in the middle, second row.
Eli, just how have you evaluated the special teams unit as a whole this season?
The 6 units, is there a specific unit or
The
just
special
overall?
teams unit?
Special-
It's, yeah, all of it.
All 6 phases?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think there's room for improvement in some of the phases, you know, appreciative of the big return, kickoff return that folks had that really got us going and got us back into the game after we scored on that drive, make it 21-7. You know, there's been some ups and downs, but we're all working each week to try to find a way to improve that. And, you know, we're working this week to try to improve our special teams phases.
Coach, Mississippi State was the opposing quarterback quite a bit, and I think through the last 4 games, their blitz rate's over 58%. Just from the Auburn game from this past weekend, what have you learned about what it takes to sort of counteract blitzes, especially when they do it as often as Mississippi State has?
Yeah, are those base downs or third downs? Are those simulated pressures? Are they 6-man hits? Are they 5-man hits?
I'm not sure, those are just on quarterback dropbacks, or I should say percent of quarterback dropbacks.
So that's including any down, just a drop back pass down?
Correct.
Yeah. So, you know, each one of them are usually unique. You know, they play a lot of odd front to 11 personnel. They play more 4-down front to 12 personnel. So when you're 11 personnel or 10-piece sets, you get a little bit more open. And then they, what we call simulated pressure, where they're bringing a 4th person, but it's really not technically a blitz for us because you should be designed with 5 offensive linemen to pick up 4 and the back to scan for the 5th. And so, you know, some of those numbers can be a little bit deceiving on the amount of pressures that you're getting. You know, for us, we have to do a better job of making the pocket cleaner for Matt. I do think that we were able to do that early in the game. Obviously, the end of half play on 3rd and 9, we did not do a good enough job with that. And those long yardage situations create, you know, situations where they can play press man. There's not much move, you know, there's not much separation, and then the pressure has a little bit, you know, your quarterback has to hold the ball a little bit longer to create that separation. So, you know, if we can stay out of those long yardage situations, that would be beneficial for us in defeating pressure. And then catch and run opportunities, you know, something that we haven't really generated a lot of, is something that we can look into.
Cody?
After taking time to review the film, just how would you assess, I guess, the overall game plan and play calling process from last Saturday?
You know, in any game I've ever been a part of, whether it's a win or a loss, whether I've been calling plays or not calling plays, whether I've been a GA, I've never had an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator not come in and say, I wish I would have handled this situation a little bit better. I wish I could have done this differently. And I don't think there's anything about Saturday that, you know, we all don't go back and say, I wish I would have done this differently. I wish I would have said we would have been in safe punt on the 3rd down. And so, you know, the assessments really for all of that stuff for me happens at the end of the year. We're all working right now to try to find a way to improve, figure out what we can do better, how do we play to our players' strengths, and find a way to win versus Mississippi State.
Questions? All right, Coach, I guess that'll wrap you up.
Did you have one?
Is anybody else?
Okay.
I'm good.
Right, good?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank y'all.